Communication Workers of America, Alliance for American Manufacturing, BioGreen Cleaning, the iSafe team bring you this production as we roll it into the holiday season. Let's talk to a guy who's never had coal in his stocking in his life. Congressman Tim Ryan of Ohio. How are you?
There was 1 year when I was 7 and in Catholic school that I did get coal in my stocking.
All right. All
I went
sins
to confession
forgiven, right?
and I took care of business.
There you go. All right. Congressman, great to have you with us. I want you to have a great holiday season. You've sure been good to us here on Ed Schultz News and Commentary over the years. And we got some exciting news coming later on. We'll tell you about that later. But anyway, you're on the Budget Committee. And we've got this deal, $1.1 trillion, and without getting into the minutia of it, in the big picture, I don't know if this would have happened if Boehner had been around.
No doubt about it.
What about that?
No doubt about it. I think, Paul Ryan has personal relationships, I think, with a lot of the people in the Freedom Caucus, and I think he's been able to. Now, some of them, as I heard last night, some of them are still going to be against what's happening in this bill. But a lot of them are going to be for it, and so he was able to talk some people off the cliff there. I think it's primarily through his personal relationships, and I think his ability to negotiate and try to get some stuff done. So at least we're moving forward here.
Do you think Ryan is big picture enough to say, hey, look, this is a year, we don't need this fight, let's get this budget done, we can come back in a year and we can do the shutdown politics. We can, get what we want. Let's get through this election cycle and let's take this off the table. What about that?
That's what I think's happening. I think it's clear that if we went to the brink again with another government shutdown again, that it would continue to damage the Republicans here. And quite frankly, I think there's some concern here, too, that if you do end up with a Donald Trump or you do end up with a Ted Cruz, that it could have significant down-ticket impact on the House Republicans. So this can be seen also, I think, as trying to inoculate themselves from some of the craziness that's happening within the context of the presidential election.
Well, shutdown politics creates a problem for Cruz on the campaign trail. Creates a problem for all of the Republicans who want to unseat Trump. I don't think Trump cares, but he would use the shutdown politics. See, Washington can't get along. You got to get me in there. That's right. How he would play it. So, I think there's a big long-term political play here. All right, now in this deal, I've done quite a few stories on country origin labeling. We've got a World Trade Organization ruling a few weeks ago saying that this has to be stripped out. If there's and if we don't strip it out, there's going to be $1 billion worth of sanctions and fees put on the United States. So labeling is history in this deal. Is that right? This $1.1 trillion budget spending package, Congress has to end the labeling of food in this country, such as beef and pork and chicken and such stuff as that, which our producers have wanted for a long time and which was a big negotiating point in the Farm Bill over the last 20 years, and it finally got implemented. Now it's going to get yanked out. People want to know where their food's coming from, and you, of course, have written a book on diet and food and what we're facing. So unpack all of this for us. Is this something that the Democrats just couldn't stop, or the proponents of cool just could not stop?
Well, you're put in a box, and this is basically, it gets back to the argument of the trade agreements that we sign and how we're dealing with globalization and our relationship with the World Trade Organization, to where we're in a spot now to where the WTO, the World Trade Organization, can come into the United States and basically say, yeah, you can keep your country of origin labels, but then you're going to have billions of dollars in fines for your country. And so you're put in a box because you don't want to have to deal with the fines that you'd have to deal with and the costs that you'd have to deal with. And so now we are in a position that the World Trade Organization can reduce the food security or the safety of people who are living in our country. And I just think that is they're usurping the power of the federal government. They're usurping our sovereignty as a country. And I worry as we move into the debate about the Trans-Pacific Partnership that this is going to continue to be a problem, and it's going to filter out into other areas of our economy. And our number one job here is to protect our constituents, and that means not only from terrorism or war or whatever. It also means from bad food that may be coming into our country, or at least to give the level of transparency needed for the consumer to make their own decisions. And ultimately, that's what this is. This is just saying, hey, we're going to give this information to the consumer. They can choose or not to buy this product based on where it's coming from. And I would hope as we're moving into this whole new realm with information and the internet and technology and our ability to really know more about where things are coming from, that this is a huge step back for us.
Well, the upside is for those in Congress who are against the TPP to say, see this is what we're talking about. And This is going to be on a grander scale. It gives you some political ammunition to go out and tell the public this is what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And no one likes being told what to do. It's not a representative government, and it's going to be 10 times worse with the TPP.
Yeah,
so
you're exactly right.
I mean, the beef in your local grocery store could have USDA stamp of approval, but it still could be from Vietnam, and you wouldn't know it.
Right. Right.
It's unfortunate that we couldn't make some kind of cross-the-border deal with the Canadians because we're in the same hemisphere. But this is going to open the door to something much broader. And we're winning on TPP, I think, Tim. I think we're winning there because the can's been kicked down the road. If you remember, right after the midterm, the next day, Mitch McConnell said we can work with the president on trade. Well, that trade he was talking about is Trans-Pacific Partnership, and here we are in 2016 coming up, an election year, they still don't have it.
Yeah.
So the clock keeps getting pushed back. What are your thoughts on it?
I agree with you. I think this is the best opportunity we've had to knock down a trade agreement since I've been in Congress, and I'm going on my 14th year. And I think it's in part because of what you just said. And these issues are now really coming home to roost. I think we talk manufacturing a lot. You look at how these cities are hollowed out, the loss of manufacturing, and you've been to my district, you've been to Ohio, you know exactly what's going on in some of these communities, Lorain, Akron, Cleveland, Youngstown. You've seen it. We all seen it. And now what's happening is with country of origin labeling, for example, you have this happening at the same time where the issue of food and food security and what's in our food and what are we feeding our kids, what pesticides are we putting on our food, that movement is becoming a huge movement in the country. So while that movement is growing, this issue now comes to the forefront. And Rosa DeLore and I did a press call yesterday to try to continue to raise awareness. People are getting more engaged on this issue. So now it's not just the steel workers and Ed Schultz and Tim Ryan and a few others in the upper Midwest. Now this issue is moving into food, which is suburban moms and dads who care about what their kids are eating and where their food's coming from, now are going to start connecting the dots to our trade agreements. And I think that broadens the constituency that is needed to beat these things back, and it's happening at a grassroots level. And to me, that's really important, where it's not just the heads of the union or the head of the food safety groups, but it's the grassroots moms and dads who are saying this is BS. We need to change it, and we recognize now that it's part of this trade agreement. So we want our member to vote against it or have it renegotiated.
Congressman Tim Ryan on the Budget Committee from Ohio. Have a great holiday, my friend. We'll do it again.
You're the best. Take care, Ed.
All right, buddy. Thanks. This is Ed Schultz News and Commentary. Communication Workers of America, Alliance for American Manufacturing, BioGreen Clean, and the iSave team bring you this production. Like us on Facebook at WeGotEd.com. You can get this at WeGotEd.com and also at RingofFireRadio.com and RawStory.com. We're back tomorrow.